How's it going, everybody? It's Sandwich Pants here. Wait. How's it going, everybody? Sandwich Pants here today. Yep, there's the speaker. Alright, cool. Scuffed fucking streamer. Not professional, not in the slightest. Let's go. I've got pretty much nothing going on except for everything. There's a lot to talk about, and I don't know where the fuck to even begin. I don't care about anything on here. I'm playing some Destiny today, but not very much. I've already done a few matches. I might get... Actually, I'm probably not even going to do more matches. What I want to do, though, is... That's super weird. I want to listen to this song because it's sick as fuck. It's Rustage. I played Rustage on the last stream. So if you enjoyed anything from him there, we're going to listen to this one while I go and do some more shit.
I'm a pop by like hello, oh no. Ain't afraid to die, then let's go, Jogo. Body out to vibe like Keno. Get a souvenir, that's a good memento. Mori, there's no story. Didn't even know it would get so gory. I'm about an op like laundry. Look at the red on the walls like it's Balomori, bitch. I'm turning the table like synthesis. I got these hunting me like I'm a clitoris. Flow is so intricate, no, I'm definitive. Powers like Mugen, my roster is limitless. Or is it infinite? Maybe unlimited. So many titles, don't know what my image is. Cause I be leaving them dead or an invalid. Fuck those above me, they're cowards and hypocrites. Pop a kettle pedal hotter than a kettle magma. Pedal to the meadow, I be leaving them with asthma. You are not a vessel, you don't even really matter. On another level, do you even read the manga, huh? I don't even anger her. You are all amateurs. Cussing me how they be loving me. He'll take his shots like a camera.
Text chat disabled again.
Yeah, but I don't even have to try. You wanna run, but you cannot hide. Life is a game and I'm rolling the dice. Don't wanna play to get out of my sight. Better make way when I'm running in blind. Hot and sweet, no cappuccino. Gonna ride this flow like I'm San Marino. I'ma scar their face like it's Al Pacino. They adore my feast like they Tarantino. I'ma hurt the ego, see the light go white albino. I'ma fight a keto, so they curse on the worst. I'm a menace to Bino. When it hurts like a nurse, I'ma cover them in stitches mojito. Like Gojo, he can't be that strong. No, I feel nothing when I prove you wrong. Down in the depths where the scum belongs. Still it how I bang, then the dirt is gone. Ay, don't know me, insane. Feel like a prince when the purple rain. Ay, below me, they hate too gruesome. Cut to commercial break. You wanna deal with a curse fast? Gojo's the man you call first. Hard like a beast, no panda. Look at my potential like I peak my mana. Hit him in a circle just to teach the manners. You a spanner, and I can put you to work. Schooner, I don't need a demon inside of me, bitch. I am the god of this earth.
All who try for the win, count your time, count your sheep. And should you die in your sleep, pray the Lord. Yeah, I'm running in blind, fighting up my mind. Yeah, it's my time, bring it down to the line. Running in blind, I ain't playing with my life. Fate on my side, and I ain't gonna die. With my own eyes,
Yeah, but I don't even have to try.
do it all I did sacrifice.
You wanna run, but you cannot hide. Life is a game and I'm rolling the dice. Don't wanna play to get out of my sight. Better make way when I'm running in blind. Life is a game and I'm rolling the dice. Don't wanna play to get out of my sight. Better make way when I'm running in blind.
You're out of lives. Fight on just the same. Only 1 minute left. Enemy team has no reserves left. Finish them. Your opponent's got the better.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Alright. So, what we're going to be doing
Your opponents
is
have
we're going
lead.
to finish this game up.
Destroy it.
We're going to play this one. And then I'm going to go over a couple of things. Some stuff that's a little bit of older news at this point, because news is moving so fast.
3 lives left.
No fucking chance, dude. Get shotted in the back.
No lives left for your enemy. Destroy them. Last life. This is it. 1 minute left. The enemy is out of second chances.
I forgot. I switched to a sword. Don't have the linear fusion.
No more lives on your side. You smashed your enemies to dust.
Eager Edge is an entirely too good perk, to be completely honest. Hey, Cable.
It's dead even. Which
Eager
of
Edge
you
and
will
Duelist
survive?
Trance. Very good perks. Duelist Trance gives you better movement speed while blocking. And Eager Edge makes you just lunge across the map at insane rates.
3 lives left.
Trying to loop all the way around, are we?
Last life. This is it. No more
Fuck.
lives on your side.
So yeah, we're gonna go over a couple of things.
Only 1 minute left.
And I'm gonna want to revisit a video, a few
Enemy
things,
team
a
is
debate
out of
that I
lives.
covered.
Topple them. Go. Make them cry. 30 seconds. Both teams out of reserves. End this. One opponent remains. Double down.
Get him!
You smashed
Yay.
your enemies to dust.
It's actually
Round
really hard
start.
to play while
The lead is yours.
holding a joint. I'm not gonna lie.
Three lives left. Last life. You're out of lives. Fight
Thank
on
you.
Just the same. One minute. No one left to fight in your place. So fight. knocked out. Your opponents got the better of you.
My shotgun decided not to
Match
register
tied.
there.
There can be only one winner. Three lives left.
That was a good shot. Wade just fucking blasted my titties off.
No lives left for your enemy. Destroy.
Good shit.
1 minute left. The enemy is out of second chances.
I am
Out
so
of
dead.
lives. Fight on just the same. Seconds. Both teams out of reserves. End this. Ten seconds. Tiebreaker active. You have one last shot at survival. Your opponent's
Cozy's
got
a
the
little,
better
yeah.
of you.
Little really good.
Your enemy has match point. Nothing changes. Take them out.
I'm not entirely sure what you're trying to say there, Camel.
Three lives left.
That was worth it.
No lives left for your enemy. Destroy them. Last life. No more lives on your side. 1 minute. No more second chances. Fight to the finish. One foe remains. I love it. 30 seconds. Both teams out of reserves. End this. You annihilated them.
That was just bad on my part all around. My movement, my gunplay, everything.
Final
I
round.
did. I still lived.
It's time.
I still managed to
Show
live.
me a battle. Three lives left.
Okay, I saw the sniper back there. I can't even hurt him with my off-stringer. Oh!
This is it.
That was a good shot.
1 minute left. The enemy is out of second chances. No more lives on your side. One opponent standing. All enemies down. All lives expended. Total victory.
Alright.
I demanded survival and
Not
oh,
bad. Did
how
I actually
you
get a... I got a barely positive KD. Alright. Let's fucking go. So what I'm doing here, just so y'all see, and yes, I know this is deep sight resonance. I have broken so many of those, I don't care. So, I'm using Burst Glide with a Healing Rift and Axiom Bolts in this area. And I'll go over everything here in a minute, just to explain my reasoning for everything. Then we've got Void abilities. Void ability Final Blows cause targets to explode and gives me some intellect. That's pretty much irrelevant. The intellect is. The explosion, very relevant. Void Grenades weaken targets, and then it takes 20 discipline, so I would be at 96 right now without this. That is super good. Like, I don't think I would have gotten that kill if I hadn't weakened them with the grenade, and it makes cleanups just so much easier. If you manage to hit people with the grenade, and then one of them dies and blows up, the others are definitely dead. Now here, I've got Finisher Final Blows, grant invisibility, and it gives me plus 10 recovery. I'm only using this for the recovery. I could, in theory, put it on something else. Like, yeah, like this. Void buffs applied to you have increased duration, which I don't need. Or, say, this. Lingering effects, Vortex Grenade, Void Wall, Void Spike, and Axiom Bolts have increased duration, which can be nice. I could put on defeating weakened targets with Precision Final Blows, create Orbs of Power. I could put on this one right here, picking up an orb, grants Devour. Like, there's a ton of things I could do here. This one would actually probably be, it's either this one or this one that I would go for. Echo of Leeching or Echo of Remnants. This one gives me more duration on my Axiom Bolts, so they chase longer. This one is just nice. It works really well with glaives. So if I was going to use a glaive, I would probably go with this one. And without the glaive, I'm going to actually swap this out in PvP for Echo of Remnants. So my stat distribution doesn't look as good as it probably would if I didn't use some of these. But I think it's very worth it to run that setup. So, reasoning being, you've got Echo of Expulsion combined with Echo of Undermining, combining with Echo of Remnants, combined with your Axiom Bolts, combined with Chaos Accelerant. All of this kit is designed around having the most lethal Axiom Bolt grenade I could. I could alternatively use Vortex. That would also work. This does not... This, you can swap out if you want to use the Scatter Grenade or the Magnetic Grenade, because this doesn't affect those. It affects... Or Suppressor. If you want to go with Suppressor Grenades, don't run this either. Doesn't affect anything. If you were going to run Suppressor Grenades, my suggestion is running Echo of Domineering, because it reloads your current weapons, your equipped weapon, from reserves. So if you have ammo, it'll reload it. Great for primaries. You fire a few shots off, throw a fucking Suppressor Grenade down field, and get a suppression. It reloads, so you don't have to break your gunfight to be able to reload your gun, taking a lot of time. Plus, it gives you plus 10 discipline. And after suppressing a target, you get greatly increased mobility. Now, I've looked at this, and the numbers that I'm kind of coming up with is like plus 30 mobility. That's a lot. So if you're running something like I'm running here with 26, because I don't run, I don't value mobility nearly as much as I used to ever since they did the changes to resilience. Recovery is even something which, even though it's still really good and they've made no changes to it because it's just so solid, it's pretty much a perfectly designed stat. They could do a few more things to improve its relevance, but not really, because it's how fast you get your health back. And in PvP, that is like the most crucial thing. So recovery, I think, could honestly do something like reload speed. You just, because it's about getting into the fight faster, and that's how it feels. You know, when you have to take a lot of time out to reload because your guns have like a 1 or 2 second reload speed. This one's pretty bad. Even I've thought about taking these all off and trying to fit hand cannon reloader in, but that's 4, so I would actually have to replace like so much, and it's not worth it. I mean, I could, I guess, do that, and that opens up 2, and then I'd have to take off shotgun dexterity and fastball, and that's not worth it to me. So yeah, if you're looking at the setup wondering why I'm running it, and this is actually because of PvE, if I swap around a few of these fragments, I have a build. I have a build that is about having 3 100s in this area. It's got 80-something mobility, 30-something resilience, and like 18 strength. But it's got 3 100s, 100 recovery, 100 discipline, 100 intellect. It's pretty nice. However, this is more effective for PvP. The other build is way more effective in PvE. It's absolutely nutty, even though I'm using Astrocyte versus Blink for it. Oh, right. We got this to go over.
So the other day, there was quite an admission that was made by a former Republican congressman. And by the way,
Okay. What is that? My former political party. Okay, let me just type that in. My former political party is fully anti-democracy. Here we go.
The insurrection fallout is front and center at CPAC. This year's most buzzed about booth is this, a fake jail cell. What you're watching actually happened at CPAC. It features a convicted January 6th rioter doing performance art, if you want to call it that, in a cage wearing an orange jumpsuit. Also on display, culture wars and election denialism.
We're
I
at
need to get
war.
my drink.
Think about after high noon on the 20th of January 2021, when an illegitimate imposter took over 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and took over the administration.
In my job, it's like the old Roman Coliseum, where you slam on a breastplate and you grab a battle axe and you go fight the barbarians.
We're going to secure a border, build the...
That is a very interesting way to phrase that, Ted Cruz. Put on a breastplate and go fight the barbarian. Who are the barbarians?
damn wall, and when we finish it, we're going to name it after President Donald J. Trump.
CNN's Michael Warren is there. Michael, a lot of this sounds very familiar, but the hits, I guess they keep the folks coming in there. What are you hearing from the attendees there?
Well, Jim, in just a few hours,
I think we're
White
just looking
Flag
for this.
podcast host Joe Walsh is with me in the studio, and CNN political commentator Charlie Dent is with us as well. Joe, I have to take you back to that bizarre piece of video we were just looking at a few moments ago. I guess some kind of symbolic January 6th rioter in a fake jail cell doing some fake snowflake tears here. I don't know if this is CPAC or Summer Shakespeare. To coup or not to coup? That is the question.
Jim, I always love being on with you because we're always talking about my former political party. And I think we're all just having a hard time wrapping our arms around the fact that this is who this party is. I mean, that was a crazy thing, right? A January 6th defendant in a mock jail cell. But what does that mean? That means everybody at CPAC, they don't believe January 6th was a big deal or a bad thing. And that's where the base is.
This is absolutely the case. I want to hammer this. That is true. That's where the base mostly is. There are people who aren't there, but I live in Oklahoma. I deliver to rural Oklahoma. And I will tell you, right now, I have spoken to people at work who honestly think that January 6th was too mild.
Again, we go through this exercise every week or two. The country needs to understand that my former political party is fully anti-democracy. It is a fascist political party. It is a political party that embraces authoritarianism. We got to move on now and just defeat them.
But Charlie, moving on is the trick here. I mean, the party doesn't seem to be doing that at this point. The year 2020 or 2019, as if January 6th and the insurrection hadn't really happened. Doesn't this speak in part to kind of the victim complex at the heart of the Trump movement?
Well, there's no question about that. I mean, Trump is the ultimate victim if you just ask him. But I think we should try to separate, though, what goes on at CPAC, which has frankly become a freak show over the years. And it really is not representative, clearly, of the country. And I would even argue not of the Republican Party, even today. I think many Republicans and many Americans do see that Donald Trump is a diminishing, yet still a dangerous figure. Look what just happened in the recent Kansas referendum vote on Tuesday. Clearly, a lot of Republicans are uncomfortable with where the party's going. I mean, lots of Republicans apparently voted against the constitutional amendment on abortion. To make it, they want to make sure that it's still legal. And so I think there are a lot of Republicans out there, I'm guessing at least 30%, who are not comfortable with where this party is and want something better. But look where CPAC, though.
If they're not comfortable with where the party is, then they need to leave the party. I know they don't want to become Democrats. You can register as an independent. It's not great, depending on your state. But you can do that. And having a mass migration of fucking Republicans from that party, if they actually want to leave, 30% roughly, if we go with that, 30%, they could literally destroy Republican electoral chances by not voting Republican.
They've got all these illiberal populist nativists, Steve Bannon, Viktor Orban, and Mike Lindell. And what is he there for? I mean, of course, Bannon has just been convicted. Liberal populist, guessing at least 30%, who are not comfortable with where this party is and want something better. But look where CPAC, though, is. They've got all these illiberal populist nativists, Steve Bannon, Viktor Orban, and Mike Lindell. And what is he there for? I mean, of course, Bannon has just been convicted, for defying a congressional subpoena. So you have to wonder what they're doing there. They should change their name from CPAC to ILPAC for a liberal PAC, or ill. This is sick what they're doing. And they've always had these straw polls over the years where the polls would always win.
It's not illiberal. It's fascist. They are fascist. Viktor Orban is a fascist. Vladimir Putin is a fascist. He wouldn't be there because the country fucking despises Russia. Republicans do. Because, well, they think that they're communist, even though Putin is a fascist. They say that Russia's communist, but also that they defeated communism when the Soviet Union fell. That really should have queued me up a long time ago. But the state has terrible education.
and they were never going to win any primaries, but that's where CPAC is these days.
Joe is shaking his head. Joe, you want to respond?
Jim, and I love and respect my former colleague, Charlie Dent. No, this is where the Republican Party is. Look, who's winning Republican primaries? Election deniers, left and right. All you got to do is tune into Tucker Carlson every single night if you want to know where the typical Republican voter is. Hateful, bigoted, authoritarian nationalism. This isn't just CPAC. This is the Republican Party base now.
And
honestly, that's a very poignant thing for him to point out, because he's not wrong. Camel. Yeah. This, I also support popular democracy through local institutions and local councils. That's basic. We currently have representative democracy, which is far better than what the Republican Party wants, which is a fascist authoritarian state.
Charlie, you mentioned Viktor Orban, the autocrat wannabe leader in Hungary. Every year, CPAC seems to be more and more about a political theater. But we saw the Hungarian Prime Minister, Viktor Orban, at this conference. He opened it up. It's opening up with a dictator wannabe. It's closing with a dictator wannabe and Donald Trump. But let's listen to what Orban had to say.
Hungarian state institutions are obliged to protect the Christian culture of Hungary. Hungary shall protect the institution of marriage as the union of one man and one woman. Family ties shall be based on marriage or the relationship between parents and children. To sum up, the mother is a woman, the father is a man, and leave our kids alone. Full stop, end of discussion.
Yeah, because he's a bigot. And every Republican that supports the Republican Party is a fucking bigot.
Charlie, we just heard you a few moments ago say this is not what the Republican Party is all about, but here you have American conservatives cheering a pro-Putin, democracy-suppressing, strongman spouting nationalist rhetoric, anti-gay bigotry. It is a dominant force in the party, though, is it? Is it not?
Now, they say look at Tucker Carlson. I will point you to two bigger sources. $5.7 million subscribers. Wow. Streamed a day ago, only 582,000 views, and he's got 5 million subscribers. Yeah, he keeps yelling war shit. Okay. This has a lot because Ethan Klein is the one who posted it. 995 million. Yeah, he's really fallen off. Oh, I noticed he dropped a comedian. Yeah, he's definitely fallen off. Yeah, he's got insane-o shit going on over here. So that's one. And here's two. Let's see. Let's see.
The Secretary of Homeland Security continues to maintain.
When was this posted? Oh, it's okay. Less than an hour ago.
And our southern border is secure. This is obviously not true. Hundreds of thousands of people are crossing our southern border every single month. The vast majority of them will end up basically being released into the United States after a certain period of time, because when they come to the border, then we give them a piece of paper that says that you have to have your asylum claim adjudicated, at which point they are released into the interior. Some come back for their first appointment. Many never come back for their second appointment. hundreds of thousands of people every month, and that's not including the people who just entered the border and were never caught by Border Patrol in the first place. The Biden administration continues to claim through gritted teeth that everything is fine at the border. Everyone knows things are not fine at the border, and this has very serious consequences for the United States, not only in terms of our fiscal future, in terms of crime, in terms of electoral demographics, because eventually, you imagine, Democrats will attempt to amnesty a lot of these people who have violated the law. Now, as I've always said, I don't blame people for attempting to get into the United States. This is the greatest country on the face of the planet. Why wouldn't you try to get in if you could? The real question is whether the United States is a sovereign country that controls its own border. The Democrats apparently have decided they no longer wish for the United States to be a sovereign country that controls its own border, because to understand where Joe Biden is on this issue, you have to understand where Joe Biden has been. Joe Biden, as always, is a bellwether inside the Democratic Party. He's just a weather vane. The opinions he does have of his own tend to be very, very wrong, but he just follows the base of the Democratic Party wherever it leads, which is why during the Democratic primaries in 2020, he was slightly...
Yeah, okay, hundreds of thousands in June and prior months, but a 14% decrease compared to May, so it's going down.
More moderate than Bernie Sanders, but then he immediately swiveled and became more left-wing the minute that he gained power, because the Democratic base wanted him to be more left-wing. Joe Biden is not a sentient being on his...
He's not a sentient being? Then why did he make the conscious decision to govern more left-leaning than he personally is? Because the base wants him to. It's not because the base told him he's going to do it. He's the president. He could say no. Presidents do it all the fucking time, you moron. What the fuck are you talking about? No. This is actually him showing sentience. He's going, oh, okay, well, if you want me to govern more left-leaning, here, we'll bring it over a point or two, like he did. Compared to what he ran on, he is governing more left-leaning than that, which, I mean, it's more left-leaning than Obama governed. The base wants it, so he's putting more into it. But it's still not anywhere near enough. Nowhere near enough. He's still shit. What are you gonna do? He's currently president. We can't impeach him, because A, there's no call to, and B, Kamala Harris would be far fucking worse. I don't trust her. I don't. I don't trust Biden. But I also don't trust her. Didn't trust Trump.
His own. He is animated by the desires of the median voter inside the Democratic Party. And this is why, if you look at his evolution on illegal immigration, it's extraordinarily clear.
Who the fuck are you talking to about cringe religion should be kept out of state issues? Yeah, no fucking shit. Religion is anti-nationalist. I'm anti-nationalist. That is not the this right here is not the problem. Religious institutions position themselves as bearers of a holistic message to humanity. That's not the problem with them. What is the problem is religious institutions' attachment to power. That's the only problem. It's not about the holistic message to humanity, because I kind of feel like I have one. It's pretty much the same one that pretty much all religions state. Don't be a dick. Not in attitude, but in action. No, I don't call nationalism fascism. Nationalism is a component within fascism. Jesus Christ. How fucking dumb are you?
Clear how the Democratic Party has morphed. So, for example, in 1996, Joe Biden is one of the biggest backers of a bill that is now remembered by Democrats as something horrible, right? It's sort of like Joe Biden on crime. In 1994, Joe Biden supported this crime bill, which was extraordinarily effective in lowering crime across the United States. Then, by 2020, he had to run against the crime bill because the Democratic Party had decided...
It was not. The crime bill was not effective in reducing crime. Not at all. There were other changes made by other states that reduced crime that the crime bill did not. It actually did not do anything besides maybe an increase in crime.
That police were bad. Well, same thing happened with illegal immigration. In 1996, according to Vox.com, not a right-wing source, President Bill Clinton signed a bill that overhauled immigration enforcement in the United States and laid the groundwork for the massive deportation machine that exists today. The 1996 immigration bill continues to control a lot of our immigration law. It was supported by Joe Biden. So this particular bill handled how Border Patrol was supposed to deal with this. The immigration law was called the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act, pronounced IRA. And some of the most significant portions of the law is that it made more people eligible for deportation. If you were convicted of certain crimes, you are eligible for deportation. But in 1996, Congress expanded the crimes which made an immigrant eligible for deportation, and they made those changes retroactive. It got easier to deport people. Immigrants who were convicted of crimes weren't the only ones stripped of the ability to argue their case before a judge before getting deported. Anybody apprehended within 100 miles of the border could be sent before a judge. And
what?
And IRA required ones. Congress expanded the crimes which made an immigrant eligible for deportation, and they made those changes retroactive. It got easier to deport people. Immigrants who were convicted of crimes weren't the only ones stripped of the ability to argue their case before a judge before getting deported. Anybody apprehended within 100 miles of the border could be sent before a judge. And IRA required
anyone apprehended within 100 miles of the... Why are we apprehending people? Is it within the... on our side of the border? Or is it on their side of the border? Because if you're going 100 miles onto the other side of the border and just arresting people... I don't know.
The government to hold more...
It's probably in our borders, most likely, that... because there would be so much outcry if we were just going 100 miles into fucking Mexico and arresting people for being close to our border.
Immigrants in detention before deporting them, making it harder for them to get lawyers in the first place. It also made it a lot harder for unauthorized immigrants to get legal. Before 1996, immigrants who had been in the United States for at least 7 years could get legal status as long as they showed it would cause them extreme hardship to get deported. IRA made it a lot harder. It limited cancellation of removal to immigrants who had been in the United States for at least 10 years. Instead of having to show that the immigrant would suffer extreme hardship if deported, the immigrant would now have to show that a U.S. citizen would suffer exceptional and extremely unusual hardship, which sounds more like DACA. Right? And the U.S. can only grant this to 3,000 immigrants.
Camel, listen very closely. You can be a nationalist without being a fascist. You can't be a fascist without being a nationalist. Nationalism is a component of fascism, but it doesn't inherently make someone a fascist to be a nationalist. They just correspond very, very closely. No, I'm going to call people who are fascists, fascists. Super clear. Super easy. If they're a fascist, then I'm going to call them a fascist. I'm not going to use your fucking watered down language. You are literally repeating things back to me that I said, Camel. I know, man. Yeah, you're probably at the part where I'm going over this. Yeah. I said that before, and you repeated it back to me.
Per year. So this led to a massive spike in deportations. You can see it in the stats. The number of Mexicans deported from the United States rose from somewhere around 25,000 in 1994, 1995.
Does he have a growth here? Or is that just the shirt? Does Ben Shapiro have a problem with his shoulder area? Or is that just his shirt?
To 150,000 by 1998, 1999. Because of this particular law. This was supported by Joe Biden, who, as I say, used to be a border hawk. The simple fact that Joe Biden used to be a border hawk is again indicative of how far left the Democratic Party overall has moved. And he stayed a border.
Now, okay, something that I know he will not say is what's bad about that. What is bad about being left wing?
Border hawk all the way up until about 2006. Right? In 2006, here is Joe Biden explaining that it was important. He did a full immigration speech in which Joe Biden said, we needed to tighten the border with fences. There must be fences. Not Donald Trump, Joe Biden. 2006, not all that long ago. And talked about illegal drugs flowing from the erstwhile democracy of Mexico. This sounds a lot like Donald Trump circa 2016.
The country that is an erstwhile democracy where they have the greatest disparity in wealth. It's one of the wealthiest countries in the hemisphere. I voted for a fence. I voted, unlike most Democrats, and some of you won't like it, I voted for 700-mile fence. People are driving across that border.
Yeah, okay. What's the point of this? What has changed since 2000? Okay. I don't know how dumb Ben Shapiro is or how desperate he is for content. Because this is something that was already brought up by Democrats during the primaries.
With tons, hear me, tons of everything from byproducts from methamphetamine to cocaine to heroin. It's all coming up through corrupt Mexico.
Who does that sound like right there? Joe Biden, circa 2006. I'm for building 700 miles of fence. There are tons of the prerequisites for meth coming up through that Mexican border, through the corrupt Mexican government. They're not sending their best.
No, Ben Shapiro. Joe Biden, while yes, I disagree with him voting for a fence, is making a different argument. He is saying that there are drugs coming up from Mexico, not that the country's not sending their best. Because there's a lot of people who come from Mexico, and only a fraction of them deal drugs. Only a fraction are dealing with drugs. So, no, he's specifically talking about drugs in this, which I also don't agree with, but we're not going to let you do big fucking conflations like that. Trump was talking about everyone who comes across the border.
Who's that used to be this radical on illegal immigration? In fact, in 2007, Joe Biden, who was then running for president, said, let's send the employers of illegal immigrants to prison. If you employ an illegal immigrant, you should go to jail, says Joe Biden.
We got to get tougher with employers. If they, in fact, the person you should send to jail is not the illegal, you should send to jail the employer. If you knowingly hire an illegal alien, then you should be held accountable.
See, I also disagree with this position of, well, not really with arresting the person who does the hiring, necessarily. I don't want anything to happen to the person who immigrated. I also don't want somebody to get arrested just for hiring them. So, no, I disagree with Biden on that. Now, his suggestion is better than the alternative of arresting the illegal immigrant. You should, if anyone was going to get punished for giving him a job, it should be the employer, technically, but nobody should get punished for hiring somebody who's not a citizen.
Again, sounds pretty hawkish on immigration. In fact, in 2008, a year later, he said he opposed giving driver's licenses to illegal immigrants.
Undocumented people in this country, should they be able to get driver's licenses? Senator Biden?
No. Okay, so that was Joe Biden up until about 2008. Then he became the vice presidential candidate under Barack Obama, and he immediately swiveled. So for the first couple of years, Barack Obama didn't seem too loose on the border. Then, in 2012, you started to see a major upswing in illegal immigration brought on by the fact that Joe Biden and Barack Obama decided, it was brought here as a minor, then you would not be deported. There would be deferred action for.
Yeah, that tweet's pretty fucked up. I hate Ben Shapiro. No, fascist. Camel, this is proof of you not listening to a single goddamn thing I say when I speak. You hear what you want to hear, and then you downplay when actual fascists are in power, like Viktor Orban, or Vladimir Putin, or Xi Jinping, or Bashar al-Assad. This is why I call you a fascist, because every time I have identified a fascist using a very strict system, you come out and defend them. Oh, I don't like them, but they're the best. Blah, 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 blah. No, they're fucking garbage. What are you talking about? Freedom, standard of living, access to information, all of that's better here in America than it is in Russia, China, or in Syria. Or in Hungary. It's also better in the UK and in France. They are. You just don't know what a fascist is. Because you're dumb.
For childhood arrivals. And in fact, the entire Obama administration, which is a very radical administration, was predicated.
I'll give you Bashar al-Assad not necessarily being a fascist, but he's fascist aligned, so that's not any better.
On the idea that there should not be deportations of illegal immigrants. Remember, in 2012, Barack Obama ran on the notion that Mitt Romney was too harsh on immigration. Because Mitt Romney's proposal was that a lot of people would, quote unquote, self-support if you didn't give them benefits. So by 2015, Joe Biden and Barack Obama were meeting with Dreamers. And suddenly, Barack Obama and Joe Biden, again, because Barack Obama was the center of the Democratic Party, he was the lodestar around which the Democratic Party moved, Joe Biden swiveled from border hawk to border dove. Here was Joe Biden hanging out with Barack Obama in 2015 with the Dreamers.
My parents, they have 2 small businesses in Southern California. They have dry cleaners. We're very involved with our community. We're very involved with our church. My mom is actually the vice president of the women's club at our park. All we want to have is that opportunity to fully give back to this country.
You guys remind us why not only this issue is so important, but you remind me of what's best about this country and why we need to fight for the values that make this a special place.
Obama really was a charismatic dude, but he did fucked up shit.
And Joe Biden sitting there nodding along to something that presumably he would have disagreed with about 10 years before.
Something he would have disagreed with a fucking decade ago. Ben, there are things, actually, everything you say, I might have agreed with about 10 years ago. Well, not everything you say now, maybe everything you said about 4 years ago, I would have agreed with 10 years ago. But I don't agree with you now. Do you see how that works? People fucking change over time. Through exposure, you learn more things. And being vice president, he was actually exposed to a lot of shit. Which, turns out, when you're educated and exposed to fucking reality at the same time, you become more left-leaning. Because, well, it's just fucking better to be. But you guys sitting over here fucking triggered all the goddamn time. Oh my god, there's fucking people who aren't white coming into my country. Oh my god. Yeah, fucking deal with it. That's been the case forever with this country. Stop being a giant pussy. Fucking hell.
Well, that is typical Joe Biden. It's also important to recognize here why Obama did this in 2012. It was June 2012 when Obama announced DACA. The reason that he did it is because he was trying to cobble together the intersectional coalition, and so he was trying to hand out goodies to as many intersectional groups as he thought he could identify. Now, it turns out
China is not based. Cult of tradition, which is what Xi Jinping is looking back towards. That's why he's released those fucking military ads that do the whole, ancient Chinese warrior thing with occult elements, even. Rejection of modernism, which they dislike modernism. They like modern comforts without modernity. They don't like the age of reason. They like to do things, just to do things. Don't think do, just do it. This one they're a little ambiguous on. Disagreement is treason. Oh, that's a big one with fucking China, let me tell you. Also Russia, that's why they arrested so many fucking anti-war protesters. Fear of difference. China is xenophobic. Russia is xenophobic. Japan is xenophobic. We'll come back to this list for some other things as well. Hungary is xenophobic. Hungary also, cult of tradition, yeah, and rejection of modernism. He gave that whole speech about traditional Christian values and anti-gay shit. Yeah, that fits there. Cult of action for action's sake. I don't know enough about their current shit, really, to know how deep that one goes. Disagreement is treason. Well, that one's hard to crack down on it in Hungary, but they do feel this way. They just can't exactly enact it as well as they would like to. Fear of difference, very much xenophobic. Appeal to social frustration, which a lot of groups do, so this one is kind of ambiguous, but they try and appeal to social frustration in, like, the negative area, like here in America, it's for white people, with immigrants and shit. Obsession with a plot. Orban does seem to claim that people are trying to kill him all the fucking time with, like, nothing ever happening. And he's also very much anti-Jewish, so he believes in the JQ. The enemy is both strong and weak. Orban specifically, not sure how deep he goes onto that, because, again, I don't pay that much attention to Hungary. Bashar al-Assad, I have specifically heard him say that Rojava is a threat to the way of life of every Syrian, and also that he could crush them. Pacifism is trafficking with the enemy. That's definitely true in Russia and China. Contempt for the weak, that happens in China, Russia. I don't know enough about Syria on this one. Haven't looked into it as much. Everybody's educated to become a hero. That one takes a bit of time to install, but most countries actually do this. Most of them do, yeah. And then you look at this one, you've got China and Russia very heavily on this one. So China and Russia, their leader's definitely fascist. Syria hits some of these points. A decent number. Enough that I feel comfortable calling Assad at least fascist aligned. North Korea hits quite a few of these points. Israel hits most of these points. And America is a bit harder to determine because of the current harsh split, even within our own government. The Republican Party has the cult of tradition and the rejection of modernism. You mention a fucking study to a Republican, and you will get wild fucking responses. You'll get somewhere between, oh, where did you get that? Some liberal school? Or, oh, is it some scientist or some, you know, researcher with the fucking echoes on it? Because, you know, they're fucking JQ posting. Cult of action for action's sake. The Republican Party's all about that. They don't want you to fucking think. Disagreement is treason. Every single time a Republican speaks out against Trump or anybody who's aligned with him, they will fucking bar you from the party, essentially. Fear of difference. They are the most xenophobic group that I have seen. Appeal to social frustration. Listen to everything they ever fucking say. Listen to Ben Shapiro here. Yeah. Obsession with the plot. Listen to everything Trump has fucking said. the enemy is both strong and weak. Yeah, the Antifa rioters are destroying the country, but if you give me 3 hours, I could crush them all. Yeah, he's done that. Pacifism is trafficking with the enemy. That one they wish-wash on. Contempt for the weak. Oh, absolutely. Why do you think they call people fucking soy boys and cucks? That's a thing they do. I use the language because it's very fucking funny to me when I call a Republican, a fascist, a soy boy, or a cuck. It's great. They melt. Everybody is educated to become a hero. They do try and tell everybody that they can become the next big thing, that you can become the defender of America, blah, 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 blah. Machismo and weaponry. Oh, abso-fucking-lutely, with the Republicans, the conservative party here in America. Yeah, that's their fucking shtick. Selective populism. Syrian nationalism. For Syrian people. That is the basis of the SSNP. And Bashar al-Assad's motivation. See, we only went to 12 earlier. In America, conservatives are only concerned with white people. This is painting a bit with a broad brush because there are conservatives who don't think that way, but for the most part, yes, that is the case. Russia. They want to take Ukraine because they're ethnically Russian, and that's it? They don't want anybody who's not ethnically Russian there? He seems to devote a lot of energy to ethnically Russian people. And then Newspeak, yeah, they will just make use of an impoverished fucking vocabulary. Just absolutely dog shit. They don't want context, they don't want you to be able to think, they don't want certain concepts to even come to your head. I can share the link to that list, actually. All these countries are based except Israel. Well, you see, this is how I know you're anti-Semitic. All of these countries are doing a similar thing that Israel is doing. They're just not Jewish. Israel is a settler colonial state occupying Palestinian territory, engaged in a genocide. Russia is a settler colonialist aggressor trying to take and occupy Ukraine. Syria is trying to aggressively crush a autonomous region that split off and is trying to, them and Iran and Turkey are all trying to crush allied areas. The only reason you don't like them is because they're Jewish, and they don't like you because you're not Jewish. So they're also racist. You're racist. I don't know how much of that you actually caught, but whatever.
Hispanics are not able to be pandered to this way. The notion that Hispanics are widely in favor of illegal immigration is just not true. By polling data, Hispanics don't particularly like illegal immigration. But the Joe Biden, who represents the center of the Democratic Party, continues to move to the left. By the time you hit 2018, he's ripping Donald Trump's border policy as one of the darkest moments in American history, one of the worst things happening in America. Right? This is the kids in cages era. of American political media. Remember that because of a consent decree that was undertaken during the Obama era, you could no longer hold parents and children together in detention. And so what this meant is that you had to separate the parents from the kids, and you had to keep the kids in certain facilities if you couldn't give them to family.
Guess who never actually did that? Obama. Guess who actually did do it? Trump.
Family members and all the rest of this. Under Obama, right, under the Florida settlement. And suddenly this became Donald Trump's fault because he said, I'm not just going to release the parents with the kids into the interior of the United States. Here was Joe Biden, who used to say we need a 700-mile fence. We need to arrest employers who hire.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Fuck me. Ow. $700 miles, huh? Yeah. I'll go over it again in case you missed the entire thing. The countries you call based are doing pretty much the same thing that Israel is doing. The only reason you don't like Israel but you like the other countries is because Israel is Jewish. It's mostly Jewish people. That's the only reason. That's it. Fundamentally, that's the reason. Now, they're also racist because they don't like you because you're not Jewish.
Illegal immigrants. There's drugs flowing up through the border. Now saying that it's one of the worst things in human history that Donald Trump is harsh on the border.
This administration's policy that literally ripped babies from the arms of their mothers and fathers. One of the darkest moments.
So, yes, Joe Biden supporting a 700-mile fence when the border is more than twice that. Yeah, I dislike it, but still, not as bad as Trump's we're going to build a wall across the border. That wall would have been a little bit more than 700 miles. He wanted like 1,000-something miles of fucking wall. Because there's places that people are like, you still can't cross it. Doesn't, yeah. Yeah, so is Russia. China's trying to do the same thing with Taiwan and Tibet. Syria's trying to do it to Rojava. I don't know what you're going to say with Rojava. No, it's not their land, it's Syrian land. Well, buddy, they've lived there for quite some time. There were Kurds that lived there long before the whole them coming over from Turkey. There were Kurds living there. They tried assimilation. It didn't work because you all still kept treating them like shit. So, yeah, that land is theirs. It is. It's theirs. They've earned it. They put up with enough shit from the populations around them. They're done. They can have that land, and y'all will be fucking fine. Now, they want to be able to have a coalition with the government and have their autonomous zone. So they're willing to work with Syria. I don't think they fucking should. I don't think they should need to. I think they should have that land to do with as they please.
In our history. Our reputation is being tarnished.
Not Israel, though. Israel, honestly, should give that land back to Palestinians. They shouldn't have to leave, but Palestinians should be autonomous within that area and do whatever they feel like outside of, like, ethnic cleansing and genocide of Jewish people. They shouldn't be oppressing them just because they were oppressed as well. That doesn't make it morally right to do it back to them. and actually would lead to worse outcomes. But it should be pretty much a Palestinian autonomy in the area, because it's their land.
Tarnished around the world. Not only is it a national shame, it tarnishes the very idea of America.
It tarnishes the idea of America, by the way. I should note at this point, that was 2018.
Yep. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Yeah, essentially saying, hey, if you feel like you're not free or you're not welcome in your country or whatever, come to America. So yes, it tarnishes the very idea of America. That's what a lot of fucking people, for over 100 years, thought.
July 17th, 2022, as of that date, there were 443 kids without parents who came across the border. There were over 11,600 children who were being held by the feds. The United States was expecting up to 161,000 single minors to cross the border in 2022. In 2014, which was a major immigration crisis in the United States, that number was 68,000. Today, it's almost triple that under Joe Biden.
Wait, hold on. What year?
600 children who were being held by the feds. The United States was expecting up to 161,000 single minors to cross the border in 2022. In 2014, which was a major immigration crisis in the United States, that number was 68,000.
The only people who called it a major immigration crisis was conservatives. It wasn't. It was just an increase to the Democrats. Oh, it's going up. Okay.
Today, it's almost triple that under Joe Biden.
Cool.
Okay, so important to recognize Joe Biden's massive evolution on this issue. And so all of the policies that he has undertaken are geared toward broader illegal immigration now, because the Democratic Party has basically decided that the border must never be enforced for political reasons, because ideologically speaking, borders are bad. Ideologically speaking, borders are exclusive.
Yup.
Ideologically speaking, everyone who wants to get in should be able to get in, particularly if a lot of those people tend to hold the same sort of values with regard to government interventionism as Democrats like.
No. You see, a lot of the immigrants who are coming from like Mexico and stuff are actually pretty socially conservative and fiscally conservative, and would agree a lot more with the Republican Party if they weren't so fucking racist. So, honestly, you guys hurt yourselves in this regard. It's kind of amazing. It's honestly the children who are brought over and grow up in America who are more left-leaning and prefer to have different things like, I don't know, universal health care like every other fucking country has pretty much, with some exceptions. We shouldn't have to pay for electricity because why? Why do we pay for things in general? Outside of luxuries is the most I could see. No, why do we have to pay for the things necessary to live? You guys love government intervention. You guys fucking love it.
I mean, why not? I'm searching for another explanation as to why they're so soft on the border. Can you give me one? Democrats cannot.
I sure can, Ben. Let's talk, homie. Let's talk. I'll try not to be mean. I'll try. I mean, you're right about it being ideological. But no, there's absolutely no proof or evidence or anything that you could, outside of your fucking dumb brain, there is nothing stating anywhere that it's to let in people who ideologically agree with the Democrats. No, when it comes to the left, it's because, yeah, no, borders are fucking dog shit. Why are we barring people? Why do you bar people? Why does any country bar people? It's dumb. It's really fucking dumb. I live on this planet. There's only one of them that I'm allowed to be on. Because we can't go to any other fucking planet and live. I don't want your fucking border in my way, taking time out of my busy fucking traveling around to have to deal with your passport bullshit and your security checks and blah, 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 blah. I'm here to do something, alright? Fuck off. Europe's been doing pretty well with its open border thing between each other, with the EU and all that. It hasn't caused any problems. That could literally work across the entire fucking planet.
Instead, they just lie to you. They say the border is safe, everything is fine, but they know that it's not. So what is the political reason for doing this other than there must be some sort of political or ideological gain? The battle for the culture is heating up.
He's so dumb. Oh my god, he's so dumb. See, people have been saying that for like 40 years, and it hasn't happened. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say, nah, it's probably fine. Probably fine. Now I need to know why my internet is running like absolute dog shit. No, let me just close these and turn off that. Boom, boom. Okay. So let's see. Popularity by country 2022. Yeah, sure, I don't care. Stay, 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 stay. Hmm. Okay. That's it. People think that there's corruption in their government. Yeah. Who doesn't? What? But everybody would fucking stay. That's so fucking dumb. Camel, you're so fucking stupid. No, the EU is not collapsing. Fucking Syria is closer to collapsing than the EU, let's face it. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. What up? Streaming. you just on break or something?
Okay. Yeah, so I'm on break. It's falling down. Fucking. My job. This place is driving me crazy, man. They're like, hey. So we don't work this Saturday, but it's like the next 2 Saturdays are mandatory. They're literally making this move.
That's fucking
It's like 2 Saturdays on and then 1 off.
That's fucking weak.
Yeah, I'm sure. The overtime will be nice, so yeah, that'll be nice, right?
Yeah, that'll be the only thing, though. It actually is not. You see, I'm going to trust the public opinion polling on the issue more so than you totally going to collapse. It's about to collapse. It's going to collapse. Yeah, it's going down. It's going to collapse. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's going to collapse. Uh-huh. Yeah. How to deal with leftist infighting. Okay. So. Did I want to cover anything else? There was, oh yeah, Trump's, Mar-a-Lago got raided. That's pretty much it on that one. That's all for that. It was very funny. I'm actually going to play a new game. But not on YouTube. I think, how long have I been streaming on here? Hour and 30 minutes? Yeah, I'm going to move over to Twitch. There's going to be a little bit of a delay because your boy got to pee. So, twitch.tv/sandwichpants, just like the name here. Let's just go ahead and open up Twitch. Boom. And then we'll just go to my channel. I need to change this picture. It's so old. Oh, 14 followers. When the fuck did that happen? Okay. So, yeah. Twitch.tv/sandwichpants. Let's go over to the YouTube one. Boop, 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 boop.